had the first bit here. They had dumped that dirt illegally on this hill over here, and I had them push it down, fix the drainage, and I don't know if they've wet hydroseeded, but they're going to wet hydroseed. But it's on an unbuildable lot also. It has nothing to do with building the lot up. It was just an eyesore when you came in. Terry, you probably got your dirt from one of those builders that was just dumping it on the way out. So you'll see that.
You didn't see it all summer?
Terry, I didn't come over here to get involved in politics. No, I did not. I don't come over here. I live there, I come in there, and I go out that way. Why would I even come over here?
Thought you might have seen
there
it.
was dirt over here when I became the president. They told me there was dirt. I said, what are the things that needed to be done? That we've kicked this can down the road long enough. That lawsuit, all their stuff that they didn't fix, this trailer over here, there were 5 or 6 things. Every single one of them is done. Get that lawsuit and your lot right here. So what I think is done, I know it's spread the dirt, if I'm not even going to make him take the dirt out. I could go to court to try and make him take the dirt, but you can't put dirt, you can't do anything outside in the harbor. What you do inside your house is up to you. But in the harbor, the Architectural Review Committee has to approve it. You have to, it's very, very apparent with the covenants. When you buy a lot in here, you are signing, I will agree to these promises and I will keep it. I took a quick look at the covenants, and the main concern of the covenants is doing anything to the site that would reduce the buildable space. You know, it's all sorts of things. It affects your neighbors, the drainage, the natural drainage can't change. This right here, that's that man's cul-de-sac. I had the county come out. That's our drainage. This is not the county. This is the developers put this in here. If you've got an engineer that's willing to certify, you do something about that, continue it down to the lake, you might. I can't do anything. I cannot make the decision. I can't make any decision against the bylaw. I can't tell you, hey, this is just going to be between the two. The board has to approve it, and it's got to be within the bylaws. There's no side deals or anything like that. The bylaws say you don't move dirt on top of another man's culvert. This Terry, did you ever have a study done?
Have I?
A study done on this? Where's the property line? I have no idea. I would imagine right there. Okay, so this is all on Terry's land. This is all on Terry's land. Okay. So Terry belongs to an HOA.
Well, the stake there is the property line, Matthew.
What's that?
That stake there, that's the property line over on the, now, over here. Yeah. Right here's the property line. Right here is the property line.
And there will be a 12-foot setback on anything done in this property. For building, for construction? Okay. Well, I'm hoping that the engineer will be able to okay. I tell you what, the engineer is going to put his license on the line, that he knows what that needs to do. He's just going to come out and look at it and say, he already looked at it. And he said, this is a functioning, this is what we have. I don't know what he's going to say in his report, but I do know that he's getting it done, and we expect to have it in the next few days.
He told me he would let us know within the next 2 weeks what he figured out.
With a hole there to affect this man's lot, it's going to be unacceptable. We're going to have to proceed as we were going to proceed before. You had something here that had grass and bushes and you didn't see it, right? Not much water coming through here. There was a hole right here, and it had rocks. And this was elevated. It didn't go downhill. And my concern is, well, why is the silt fence there? Are we doing construction on the lot?
I didn't get done. The lot wasn't done. I asked
Wait a second, are we doing construction?
Jono came out to the house and said,
doing construction
send in, he said, the board wants me to send in an email that what I want to do to finish doing what I'm doing.
So have you, what are you doing, Terry? You building the house? Eventually. Where are your house plans? You don't do anything. You don't break the first bit of ground until your house is approved. It says that in the
I
covenants.
understand, but there's
You
a
don't do
misunderstanding
anything.
between Mr. Pollard
There's no
And
misunderstanding. There's no misunderstanding. Everything done in this world is done on paper. Everything is done on paper. You can't go back 3 presidents ago and say I had this verbal agreement. That doesn't work in here. It might work outside. We have 105 people that we make promises to that will follow the rules. So we'll all get along. And that's what I'm trying to do right now is enforce those rules. All I want you to do, Terry, dig that back up, make it the way it was. Or if you get an engineer that puts his license on the line, because once I get it, I'm going to go to the North Carolina Licensing Board and I'm going to say, is this accepted? Is this common practice that a homeowner goes and does something and then you put your license on the line that it's going to function? Now, 30 years down the road, that guy that owns this lot expects that to function. He doesn't want water sitting in there. He doesn't want a mosquito pit. I'm sure he doesn't even want that on his land. But it's part of his land. It's got to work. What you did affects him. If that thing ever blocks off, like it was the first time I came out here, it was covered in clay. There was nowhere for it to go. It just burbled on itself. Clay ran down, and now you've got water sitting in here. You've got water sitting across the road. Before, you had a pipe that was dry.
I understand. I told you I didn't get done. I said matter of approval, and I got the email where you said you're full of crap. That ain't how it works.
That is not how it works. You submitted your approval.
Not to finish what I started.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You know how it works. You can't do anything in here unless you get approval, Terry. You know that. That dock, how did you do the dock? What did you have to do? You had to submit it to the TVA. They gave you a permit. Then you submit it to the ARC saying, this is what I want to build. And the ARC came back in 2014 and said, yes, you can do it. You know we have procedures in here. Don't act like you didn't know you had to do this.
I understand, Bill. But I'm a man of my word. If I tell you something, you pretty much count on it. Bill Pollard says that's fine.
To cover
put the culvert in.
Bill Pollard and I have talked extensively about what went on between you two. But I don't care. You got to get straight.
Look, I don't matter. He said that. The pile of dirt was in there in March. A giant pile of dirt there in March, enough to cover up this little gully. The culvert is laying here. Bobo helped me roll the culvert over here over a year ago. I don't care what Bobo told you.
So
you helped me roll the culvert over here. The culvert's laying there. The dirt pile's there from March.
I'm supposed to listen.
And nobody's seen it. Nobody mentioned one word to me.
I wasn't on the board.
I didn't say you did. I said no, there's other people on the board. Nobody mentioned anything to me. Like, what are you going to do? Said it was so obvious what I was going to do. Then when I did it, all heck broke loose.
What do our covenant say about time? You could do it, and I could come back 8 years later and undo it. There is no time limit on a broken.
That's fine. If I got to dig it back up, it's not an issue. I can get.
Okay. If you
Bob,
don't,
and you have to remember that's Bob.
Well, here's what
because Robert is the son. Bob is the one that came out here with his track house and did that. But he's been doing it for 40 years.
The guy that's the cow farmer told me he did. Robert Fletcher, whether you call him Bob or Robert.
His son come back and finished it. I was at work.
Okay, his son is the one that did it. I have his son standing by to come out and undo it, Terry, tomorrow if I want him to come. He says, will you pay me? I said, I will definitely pay you. I don't even want to go to court. I think talking to my lawyer, I could come and undo what you did. You would have to file a lawsuit to stop me from doing that. I don't need to spend money. If I spend money to do something, guess who's giving me that money back? That's how it works. You're giving it back to me. If you lose this, let's say we go to war here. You're not going to do it. You're going to dig them. You've got a line in the sand. Come after me, okay? I'm not just stopping here. We're going after the rocks down there. We're going after the dock. We're going after TVA stuff. Everything that's in violation here. The only reason I'm here is someone complained about it. It's not me. I could give two shits. I want to sit in there and live in harmony, go deer hunting, and go fishing. But when someone comes to me and say, what the fuck? He's got dirt here. He's got a culvert here. You can't do that in here. You're right. You pay your homeowners dues. You expect people to keep their promises. That's what we're doing here. Dig that up. The problem's gone. No one's going to come after you about spreading dirt on your lot. It happened. It's gone. It's done. Dig this back up or get me some sort of certification. A guy's putting his license and his job on the line. That there's never going to be a problem with that. Because once he says it's good, I'm going to the state and say, is this certifiable? Can someone certify something that they weren't involved in the plans and are taking the word of another man, what they did.
I don't know nothing about that.
I don't think it's possible. I don't think a guy's will. Hey, good morning. I don't think a man's willing to put his job on the line like that.
But once ground is broken for a house here, none of this is even going to matter because it's going to be incorporated.
No,
in the
it
house
all
plans.
matters. It all matters. You're right. But a study would have to be done on this cul-de-sac, exactly what he's going to do. An engineer would have to say, just like an engineer or an architect puts together his house plans. You're absolutely right. But we don't go post that. Here we go. We had a man down here tried to put six house, 6 bathrooms, all that. Had the foundation for it. We went, filed an injunction. Guess what happened? We took the whole thing up, bulldozed it back over. Someone else bought it later. That's what the HOA can do. You do a violation. It's black and white. I don't know how familiar you are with the HOAs. They're filed at the courthouse. There are many laws. They are enforceable. They're enforceable. The judge looks at it. Now we did have a lawsuit years ago about people that were renting their homes back. And originally the first judge says a man's house is his castle. Well, we appealed it, went to Knoxville. That judge had to retire. A board of 3 people says a man's house is his castle out in the country, not in an HOA. You've signed, you've agreed, you bought a deed, you're in this HOA. There's covenants. It's another word for promises. I'm going to keep them. That's all we're asking. It's a simple thing to. How much will it cost to dig it up?
Over $1,000 bucks.
Over 1,000? How much is it going to cost to go to court? How much is it going to cost them an hour? $2.25 an hour? One, I'm going to file, but now double what it is. Do you want to go down that route? I'm asking you. It's simple. Have it dug up. You might win.
Well,
you might win.
Terry wants to be a good neighbor, and there's no reason to, get in a pissing contest over a culvert. We're going to make sure this is right, and I don't
There's
think
2 ways. Dig it up. Engineer puts his certificate on the line.
we're expecting to get the report.
Okay.
So,
That'll do it. That's unacceptable right there. That's going to have to go to the lake. I'm not going to have this man looking at a
I
whole.
already told you, I already submitted a plan to finish what I started, but you said that ain't work like that.
What plan? What plan did you submit? An engineer's plan? A diagram? What? You started something here. We got to rectify this before you go any farther. Does that make sense? I'm not going to give you authorization to continue that before we figure out what's
Well, I'm
going
just
on
saying,
here.
you set Jono out to waste Jono's time, because Jono was trying to negotiate and work out a solution.
John,
And you
okay
said,
with the
screw
same
all
thing
that,
with
it
an
don't matter, you can negotiate Jono forever. You got us 1 or 2, and there's no other way.
What is
That
the
way
other
or
way?
the highway.
What is the other way? What is the other way? You tell me. I'll tell you what, let's, on a broad scale, when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, there was 2 options. Go to war or surrender. We went to war with that. So what are the options here? Surrender? Just say Terry did it and walk away? Everybody else do what you want. Terry Wallace could do it, so everyone else could do it. Is that what you want me to do? As the president of the HOA, let anybody do what they want? No, we got to enforce the covenants. Do you think you violated the covenant by putting dirt out without permission, doing anything on this lot? Do you think you violated the covenant? I think you did.
Well, I don't think I did, because Bill Pollard, I'm telling you,
Bill
it doesn't
Pollard?
matter.
No. A president does. I do not have the power to approve anything. It's got to be in the bylaws. I cannot.
I know, well,
approve
Bill
that.
Pollard was the
The
president,
board
he
cannot
should have
approve
said, you need to send me in something right, and I'll give you something back in that.
You should have gotten it right.
I agree with
Everything
that
in life.
100%.
You should have
Hindsight's 2020.
No, there's not
But-
any knowing better.
But I'd be going to court, swearing that
I got other things to do.
whatever.
You get the engineer. You've got 2 options. Like I wrote. The engineer puts his job. I'm going to the state certification board and make sure that he could do that. We'll put it back to me. That's where we are. And I tell you what. Today's what?
Friday.
Friday. How long before we get? 2 weeks to get that thing from the engineer?
well, Thanksgiving is next week.